Hello, welcome to Kate's Paper Creations and to my weekly video and vlog. This time where I'm featuring current products, and this current products from Stampin' Up! And this week they are the ones I am looking at. Let me get my catalog over here. Is the Peony Garden Suite. Now, I didn't buy everything from this suite all at once, but as I have been making more things with this stamp set and everything, I have little by little kind of been picking up some of the different pieces. But you can buy the whole suite for $97.50 here it says. The papers are absolutely gorgeous, and you'll get to see some of those today. And there's just some really, really pretty things. So let me show you what I'm going to be making with you today. I actually don't have a finished product. I'm just going to show you what we're going to make, and you'll get to see it finished before your very eyes. So I started with a regular Whisper White thick base card, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. That makes a A2 greeting card, standard greeting card. Okay. I don't know if you've heard yet, but Whisper White is going away. The factory shut down. They don't make it anymore. But Stampin' Up! Has been aware, and they are in the process of replacing it with a new product that's going to be called Basic White. And I have sent out an email to all my current customers with the new numbers and all of that. So just something to be aware of. But anyway, there's the base card. Then I used this Dainty Diamonds embossing folder. It's on page 82 in your annual catalog. It's $9 there, and it makes the most gorgeous, delicate design. I hope you can see that in the picture here, because it is really, really pretty. And I'm going to attach that. I have cut this piece as regular Whisper White. I have cut it 5.5 by 4 1/4, so it will cover the entire front of the card. And I am just going to attach it with, I'm using Tombow today. I have typically bought that in bulk in the past, and I have a lot of it left. And maybe when it runs out, I will switch to Stampin' Seal. I did buy some and try it. It's pretty decent. But for now, this is the front of the card. Then I am going to take one of the square vellum doilies. You can see that. Isn't that lovely? And you have to watch them, because sometimes they have little pieces that didn't totally pop out, so you want to check for that. I think that's about it. And I'm going to attach this to the card front, and the only way I know to do that is with a liquid glue pen, and my favorite go-to is the Zig 2-way glue pen. And everybody's got their own favorite go-to for this, but this is what I'm going to use. And you don't have to put a bunch on there, so I'm just going to get a couple of the corners and the middle a little bit. And that's really enough. It doesn't need a lot to hold it down. It's just a little bit to hold it in place. And this goes on blue, but it dries clear, so the glue will not show. And I'm just centering it. Just like, whoop, and it needs to stick to the card, not me. There we go. Okay, and we're going to let that dry for a second, because then I'm going to bring in two pieces that I cut out. Now this has been cut out. These have both been cut out from the Designer Series paper. That is the gray granite on a white background. And I've just cut two of the flowers and leaf sets out of this background. And I'm going to do one, I am going to color with colored pencils. So dig out those colored pencils. I don't know about you, but they sit on my shelf and I forget that I have them, because we have so many beautiful markers and lens pens and all of those things to use that we forget about the lonesome little colored pencils over there on the shelf. So I got out my colored pencils, and I'm only going to color one, and then we can kind of play around because I want you to see. This is Flirty Flamingo, and there's 2 sets of colored pencils in the catalog, and you'll just have to look at which set it is that has the Flirty Flamingo in it. And I'm not trying to be very careful here. I am just kind of doing a circular motion and just coloring in see, I'm not even trying to be careful of the following the design or anything. I'm just filling in the whole flower with some basic layer of color. And I'm even doing the edges that were white where I cut it out. Okay, that's the basic color. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to use the granite gray shading of the flower to guide where I'm going to go a little darker with this pencil. And I'm going to press just a little bit harder. And this time I am going to kind of follow where those gray granite sections are to add some, and use the gray granite design as the shading, as a guide to where to put the shading, so that you end up with a more realistic or less flat looking design. And again, it's not really perfection, it's just, you know, just following those lines along. And you can see it starting to take shape and to show some dimension because of the way it's shaded. There we go. And then I'm going to use Granny Apple Green for the stems. And they're going to get the same treatment. They're going to get the basic fill. Like this. I would normally color this actually before I cut it out because it's actually easier to do it that way than it is to color it afterwards. But I didn't want you to have to sit and watch me cutting it out, so I pre-cut it and then I'm coloring it after. But it is much easier to cut it before, or to color before it's cut out. Okay, so there's the basic, and now again I'm just going to follow that gray granite shading and add some shading to these leaves. And I'm doing that by just pressing a little bit harder with my colored pencil, and so it leaves a little bit darker color behind. And there's my flower. I think it looks lovely. It's got a little chad there. I think I'm going to trim off. Find my scissors. Not real happy with that little. There we go. So now I have these 2 flowers, and I did this just because I wanted you to see the front of this card with 2 different options. We could put this one on here, and it's lovely with a little bit of color. Then I could add the happy birthday that I want to add. I could add it in with Flirty Flamingo ink, or I could add it with just the gray granite ink pad. I'm using the happy birthday from Itty Bitty Greetings, and these tags, these sentiment tags that I'm using here are from Messages Die, that's in the new January mini catalog that's coming out. It goes live on the 5th, and it cuts out a whole page full of all different shapes. And so let me bring some of those in so you can see them. You get a little bit of a sneak peek here. It just cuts out a whole page worth of shapes, and you can, it has a stamp that goes with it that will stamp sentiments on these, and then you can cut them out. But I cut out just the blanks and keep them on my desktop, and I just pull them out to use on all kinds of projects. So this is just a sampling of what that die will do. So you'll want to be watching for that when it comes out. It's going to be a really popular thing to have, I believe. So then I'm going to ask you to leave me a comment and tell me what you think. I was going to just attach this flower flat like this, and then I'm just going to put it on a happy birthday like this. And so you can tell me, should I use the colored flower or should I just use the tone on tone? I think that's very striking. So you'll have to tell me what you think I should do with this card. And so let me know in the comments what you think. I like them both, but I think if I had to choose, I shouldn't say. I won't say what I would choose. I'll let you make that choice. So there's choice 2 or B, and here's choice A, a colored flower with either the gray or the pink happy birthday, or with the gray granite flower without any coloring and one or the other of the sentiments. So let me know what you think, and we will see what comes. Thanks for stopping by.